Now for the show that's truly too hot to handle. It's The Melting Pat, and it starts right now.
You're listening to The Melting Pat. Here's your host, Pat Johnson.
Well, thank you, Jerome. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the show, The Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. Today, we're doing something a bit different as far as how we're putting the show together, but I'm not going to tell you what it is. So let me know if you can figure out what I did differently to put the show together this week. Nothing to do with the content, just how the show was assembled, and I'll send you a sticker with a handwritten note, and let me see. I'll figure something else out. But let me know if you can figure out what I did differently to put the show together this week. All right? All right. So on the menu for today, we're going to hear, it's our Halloween show, by the way, because Halloween is next Thursday. And so we're doing the Halloween show today because it's the last show of October. And so we're going to recap 2 Halloween TV episodes. We're going to do the Rocko's Modern Life Sugar Frosted Frights is the name of that one. And the Beavis and Butthead special. What is that called? I have it on a DVD called Buttoween, and it's Christmas one and the Halloween one together on the same DVD. Oh, it's called Bungholio, Lord of the Harvest. So we will talk about those 2. We should hear from the captain after that, and then we will wrap the show with a tune from our friends Much Better, as we do on Halloween. Look at that. Much Better gets the closing note for Halloween and Christmas on this show. How about that? I did not think about that until right now. So yeah, that is the agenda for today. I think that's all, right? Let me see. You're not going to get a mouth riff at the end. So that's that. And we'll throw in some Halloween reminders for you at the end of the show as well. But first thing I want to talk to you about is over the weekend, we went to a pumpkin patch. And I don't have any recollection of going to one. I'm sure we did, right? One of my family members weigh in. Did we go to a pumpkin patch when we were younger? I have the weird thing is, there are probably pictures of me at a pumpkin patch, and I have no memory of going at all. So we went to one because Jill said, hey, let's go do this. I want to take him to a pumpkin patch, and that's a fun thing I want all of us to do. And I said, all right, sounds great. So we went to Steyer Orchard. And so they have when you pull up, it's like a general store. They got food and snacks and cakes and pies and other things. And there's another room with stuff that we didn't even go into. But yeah, so we go and we went and had lunch, and I had a delicious turkey club. Like, this thing was massive and it was amazing. And so you park and you go to the store, and then you walk up to like another open area where they sell pumpkins and they sell donuts and they have other things, and then you wait there. Like, you can buy pumpkin there, and then I guess what you could do is go take the trip to the general store and go over to the other open area, walk up and buy a pumpkin there, like a little pumpkin or some. I guess they had bigger ones too. But you can go buy one and then turn around, go home, and not actually go pick your own pumpkin. So if that's all you want to do is go to the general store, have some food, get some some local wares, as it were, and then go get a little pumpkin there. You could do that. But then you wait. So you go into this open area, you can buy stuff, whatever. And then you go over a little further and kind of wait for, basically they have a tractor pulling flatbeds that have benches and bales of hay. So you as an adult and with your family, you are pulled in a big wagon by a tractor, and you're taken to the pumpkin patch. So one wagon goes to the pumpkin patch and something else, and the other wagon goes to the apple picking, and then the pumpkin patch. I don't know. We did not do apple picking. We decided not to do the apple picking, but we said, hey, let's go get a pumpkin because Jill wants a pumpkin. She's like, let's go do that. And so we get over there. And well, first of all, the kid was so well behaved. It was crazy because he's 3. And so a whole new environment for him. And we didn't have the stroller because we don't need it because he's a big boy. He can walk around now. And it's actually good we didn't have the stroller because we would not have had the room to navigate the store. And then when we get out to the grass, what are we going to do with that? Right. So yeah, there were people who had babies strapped to them. And I'm like, that seems like a miserable day for everybody. So I'm glad we didn't do that. Take him when he was a little guy. So we get over there and he's crushing it. He's like, oh, I want this. What's this? And so we're going over and I'm walking him around and just kind of, Jill went to go pay for the food. And so I was like, all right, let me walk him around and see what we got. He's like, what's this? Ooh, what's that? Oh, look at those pumpkins. Look at that pumpkin. Look at that. So he was having a really good time and super well behaved, which I'm always impressed by. Like, man, who raised that kid? And not me, but it doesn't seem like I did anything. But yeah, so he enjoyed it. So we walk up and, walking through the grass and he's liking that. And he's like, oh, look at this, look at that. Oh, and people walking their dogs. And so we get over to the place with the little pumpkins and he's like, oh, I want this one. I want that one. We're like, no, we're going to go, buddy, we're going to go pick one. He's like, whoa. So we get up in the wagon basically, and we get pulled around to the pumpkin. It's not that far, like far enough where we didn't want to walk, right? So the pumpkin patch, the distance between the pumpkin patch and the first little open area is like, it was far enough where we didn't want to walk with him, like not being able to walk the whole way, because sometimes he needs to be carried because, again, he's 3. So I don't know, maybe when he's like 7, if we go up there again, we can walk the whole thing. But like part of the experience was the, riding in the wagon, right? So we get over there, we're walking through the pumpkin patch and dodging the vines, the roots that are up, and the smashed pumpkins because people carry them by the stems and drop their pumpkins, and that's kind of sucks. And it was so we're going through. And Jill finds the pumpkin that she wants. Nice big one. Nice and round, right? I don't want to say bulbous. That's the wrong word, but nice and round. And she's like, all right, I can carry it. Great. So I have the kid. And then we're walking by, and so like, I want a pumpkin. I want a pumpkin. Like, yeah, sure. We'll get you one for yourself. And so we're looking for small-ish pumpkins. And like, yeah, we could have gone back and gotten bought a little one from the place. But we're like, no, let's see. Well, Jill was like, let's see what I can find. And she finds a little one. She plucks it right off the vine like it's just his size. He's like, yes, great. So now he's got his pumpkin. I've got him. She's got the house pumpkin. And so we're like, all right, we did it. And we took some pictures. We kind of just enjoyed being in the space, kind of being out together as a family. And it went really well. It went well. It really did. Like, it was great. And so we go over there. And what's funny, so we get back in the wagon and it drives us back around to the first kind of open area place where we can go and pay for our pumpkins, right? So wait. All right, first, detour real quick. We're ready to get off the wagon. And so people line, like, it's at the end of the, like, where the open, like, there's this open outdoor area where you can buy stuff. And then there's I don't want to call it a road because it's not, it's just like a lane in the dirt/grass, whatever. And so there's that where the wagons, and then on the other side, there are like bathrooms and space to run around. There's like a picnic area, stuff like that. So people line up on the first side, outside where the first area is. We're coming back on the wagon and we're looking, and like a bunch of people lined up, ready to go get on the wagon to the next trip out to the pumpkin patch. First guy in line as we're coming back, just like he's wearing a Take America Back t-shirt, big, like red shirt, big letters, Take America Back 2024, like big Trump shirt, right? And this guy, look, I'm a pudgy guy. I don't like to fat shame, especially when there are other ways you can make fun of someone. But this man 100% has not seen his feet or his penis in years. I'm just saying this man has not seen his genitals in at least a decade. Yeah, and like it really fit. And I was texting some people about this. And they're like, yeah, that's kind of the mold. That's the archetype where someone who is like, bro, you're going to a pumpkin patch. Like, you're supposed to have like a good day with your family, or, I don't know if you're going by yourself, but generally having a good day with your family, just having fun with the family, and just going, and maybe you're getting some apples, maybe you're buying some donuts, maybe you're getting some pie, maybe, I don't know, you're just going to get a pumpkin, or maybe you're just going just to be outside, because it doesn't cost anything to actually go there. You only, you pay for what you buy. So you could just go and ride the thing and just kind of walk around. You could just do that, right? So just do this. So I'm just like, all right, why? I'm just trying to figure out and look, if you own a Take America Back shirt or like a MAGA hat or whatever, there's a 99% chance you're not listening to my show, and that's fine. But if you're one of these people who has a Take America Back or whatever the hell that means, if you got one of these shirts, what is the thought behind wearing it to the pumpkin patch? Why is that the shirt you picked that day? Because, like, I guess it's like bumper stickers for me, like political bumper stickers. Whose mind are you changing? Like, who is at a red light looking at your, whoever 2024 your bumper sticker and going, oh man, I was going to vote for the other guy or the other whoever, but I'm voting for this person now because I saw a sticker. Yeah, like, who is at the pumpkin patch going, you know what, man, I was going to vote for whoever, but now I saw this guy in his shirt and I'm like, yeah, this guy's got the right idea. Like, who's that for? Who's that? Are you hoping to have a conversation with somebody? Are you hoping maybe you start a fight with somebody at a goddamn pumpkin patch? Like, what are you doing? Why? What is the? I mean, first of all, the shirt looked ridiculous, and you probably paid $50 for it, so you're swindled out of your money there. But I just couldn't get over it. Like, why is that first? Well, not to get too far into it, but why have that shirt at all? I guess we'll throw that out there. But why? Yeah, why have it? And why wear it to the pumpkin patch? Like, you're just out for a day with your family, just a nice fall day with your family, picking pumpkins and apples and getting donuts and pies and, getting a turkey club or whatever. Why is that the time you pick to make a weird statement about your politics? Just very strange. And, maybe do some cardio. I'm sorry. I know. I shouldn't fat shame, but I did, like, it's right there. Like, how many times have you seen, like, you're not going to see that shirt on a fit person, right? I don't know. Just, that was funny. But okay. So we get back there. Like, the kid is having a great time. He loved his little pumpkin and he loved the big pumpkin. And we just had a lovely day. And I just wanted to interject a little funny thing that I saw there. Just really, I don't know, man. Like, why would you make that choice to wear that shirt? Anyway, the turkey club was delicious. So if you're going out to Steyer Orchard, I recommend getting the turkey club. Why am I recommending a sandwich when you're going to pick a pumpkin? Yeah, I'd never, like I said, I have no memory of going to a pumpkin patch, and like, it was obviously our first time with the boy, so we had a great time. Everybody loved it, and you will get a nice big pumpkin for the house, which I guess we're gonna carve up soon, hopefully. That was the plan, and then we get busy and that happens. But yeah, he loved his. Oh, by the way, he dropped his pumpkin when we got home and knocked off a little piece of it. And so now it's sitting on the windowsill because he's like, it's broken. I'm like, yeah, that happens when you drop it. So we'll see what he does with it, if anything, in the next week or so. But yeah, like, just his size, perfect. He loved it. He was super well behaved at the store and just loved the whole day out. And it was really great. And I'm glad that that was something Jill really wanted us to do. And we all had fun. We had a lovely time, and not that expensive to do. Not that expensive to go out there and get a couple of pumpkins, get some lunch, have some fun, and make fun of people silently. Well, not silently now, but make fun of people in the car, and then do it here. So there you go. So if you go out to Steyer Orchard, enjoy yourself. I almost said, as I often do when I plug something, tell them I sent you, but definitely don't do that. And get the turkey club and enjoy your pumpkin picking and your apple picking and your whatever, your nose picking. If you do that, just don't wipe it on anybody. All right? Don't eat it either. Okay? That was great. Yeah. So we had a nice adventure, nice fall adventure with the family, and it was really fun. So there you go. Hope you have some lovely fall adventures as well. And then, we're getting close to having winter adventures, whatever they might be. So there you go. All right. There we go. We did it. We handled that business, and now we have 2 Halloween. We're probably going to take breaks in between, right? But yeah, that's the next thing on the list here is what you're going to do. We're going to do Halloween TV specials. I almost did 3, and then I decided, no, let's tell this story, and then the captain, and then much better, and then we'll just do 2 specials in between. So that's going to be our show. All right? So we'll do the first one right after this, Rocko's Modern Life, Sugar Frosted Frights. So watch it, and then come right back. Okay, so the reason that I picked Rocko's Modern Life this year, I think I would have made my way to this episode eventually. But the reason I did it this year specifically is because my son has, well, I don't want to say he's discovered Paramount Plus. I turned on Paramount Plus for him because I was tired of the weird crap he watches on YouTube. And so I just go through, and they have in a list all the Nickelodeon cartoons that I watched when I was a kid. So I was like, okay, which one do you want to watch? Like, and they have like a little picture come up of, this is what the show is, right? And so I just let him look at the picture and make a decision. Because again, he's 3. He doesn't know what any of this is, but I was like, all right, cool. And and he tried to get Beavis and Butthead going, and I can't do that because he repeats stuff. So, so he's like, hey, let's watch this one. I'm like, oh, Rocko? He's like, yeah, Rocko. And so for the last 3 weeks, we have watched the entire series of Rocko's Modern Life, probably 4 or 5 times. He's now moved on to Inspector Gadget from the cartoon from the 80s, which is great. But Rocko's Modern Life, yeah. So I was like, yeah, great, let's do this. And so just do this. And so I said, all right, why not kind of tie this in, little story about me, what's going on in my house, and then we'll talk about Rocko. And it's great. So I hope you watched it with our little break. I hope you were able to pause and find it on wherever you wanted to watch it, if you got it on DVD or whatever you got to do. So the episode is called Sugar Frosted Frights. And we start with a news report. They're talking about the hopping Hessian, the terrible tale. Or we start with a... it's like a vulture in a dark room, and it turns out the vulture is giving a news report. Hey, watch out for the hopping Hessian. And then you cut back to the news anchor, the newsroom, and it's the anchor talking to Dr. Hutchison, who is giving safety tips. She's got the treats on her hook, which is very funny. It's a really great, Dr. Hutchison's a great character. Okay? Yeah, fantastic. So Rocko and Heifer going trick-or-treating. Rocko is dressed in an inflatable, really, really big man costume. Wonderful. Heifer painted his gut like a jack-o'-lantern, glow in the dark, and he's like, ooh, the hopping Hessian, ooh. Just very fun. So they go to Filbert's house, and here, I have a question. So they've been friends, so we're led to believe in this, and I know that continuity is not a big thing in kid shows, but we're led to believe that they've all known each other since high school. And so why wouldn't, and in the show, Filbert has turned 21. So you can imagine that they've been friends for 7 or 8 years, right? So they've known each other for a while. How has it not come up why Filbert hates Halloween? Because they go to his house, and he's hiding in his shell. He's hiding under his sheet and also in his shell. And they're like, hey, man, why do you hate Halloween so much? What's going on? Why wouldn't that have come up when they were in high school? Or at any other time, like whenever they were decorating for Halloween. I don't know, it's a kid's show. Pat, it's a kid's show. Just have fun, man. I know, but it's just, I'm just curious. Why wouldn't it come up? If you celebrate Halloween and your friend doesn't for whatever reason, wouldn't you want to find out before you're an adult? I don't know, man. I don't know. Anyway, so Filbert is telling a story of why he doesn't like Halloween. Because every year his parents would go out and they would leave him with his crazy Aunt Gretchen, who is a massive turtle who's in her own aquarium. She never wanted to get out of there, so she grew into it. She grew into her own aquarium. So she scared him about Halloween and candy, and she said that if he even touched Halloween candy, the hopping Hessian would come and take him away. So that scared him, and he doesn't like Halloween. So Rocko and Filbert decide, no, screw that, man. We're going trick-or-treating. We're going to have fun, goddammit. And they didn't say that, obviously. So they go to the first house, and a woman says, hey, wait a minute, looks at Rocko, and says, wait a minute, you've already been here. Shame on you, and slams the door. And they're like, man, you went out already? He's like, no, she's crazy. So then they cut to really, really big man in an inflatable Rocko costume, just walking down the street, doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo, which was so good. I can't decide if I'm going to use that for the show image or what. I am going to, either way, I'll put it up somewhere, because it was just such a great beat. We're like, no way, she's crazy. And then you cut to, like, why does he have an inflatable Rocko costume? Why is that a thing? Should I get that for Halloween this year? I only got a couple days, but maybe next year I'll do an inflatable Rocko costume. And then they go to the next house, and the hippo who's giving out candy has a great joke.
Let's see, I believe I might have some goodies off screen here.
Great joke. Great meta joke. Yup, here they are. You can't see them because I'm on TV and you only see this part of the screen. Great joke. I got some goodies off screen here. Fantastic. So there's some hullabaloo. Is that how you say that? I don't know. There's a lot of hoopla. Wrong show. Filbert eats his first piece of Halloween candy ever. And now he is obsessed. Because he's never had it. Because his crazy Aunt Gretchen said if you even touch Halloween candy, the hopping Hessian will come take you away. And we don't want to do that. So he eats his first piece. I assume he's also then never had any candy at all, like never had sugar. And actually, we get to that in a second. So he's now obsessed with getting more candy. So they go to the next house, and the woman is giving out pennies, which, as you know, if you've listened to the show at all in the last however many Halloween episodes that I've done, since 2011? So however many that would be, whatever, 13, 14. Giving out pennies on Halloween is a mortal sin to me. Yeah, we're past the whatever sins. We're on to mortal sins, damn it. Stop, don't give out pennies on Halloween. Don't do it. Just penny. In other words, the people who gave out pennies in they got a little Halloween treat bag, little paper bag, and they put 3 pennies in there. Oh, happy Halloween. Don't do that. Sorry, I'm getting off track. So Filbert is, in his obsession with getting Halloween candy, and he's like, pennies? What the hell's the matter with you? Give me candy. Ah! So he bowls past her into her house, and then he's in her kitchen, standing on the counter, eating a bag of sugar, and he's just pouring it into his mouth. Just pouring the whole big bag of sugar right into his mouth. Fantastic. And he's like, this is great. Sugar, I need more. So he runs out. He needs to get more candy. So he's just running through town, just looking for more candy. And so he runs past the old photo hut, and the story goes that the hopping Hessian lost his leg in that cemetery beyond the old photo hut. But Filbert doesn't know that. Now, how does he not know? Well, I guess because he's lived in O-Town for a long time, I presume, and he wouldn't he know? Wouldn't Rocko and Heifer be telling this story every year? Well, if Filbert doesn't celebrate Halloween and just says, go away, I don't do this, then he likely would not know the urban legend if it's only told around Halloween. All right, so that one makes sense. Them not knowing, his friends not knowing why he doesn't like Halloween, that still doesn't make sense. But him not knowing the urban legend of the hopping Hessian, that makes sense. So Filbert takes off. He's in the graveyard, and he chews off a tombstone. And that was the one. So he's been eating just raw sugar and whatever else he could find, and he just chomps on a tombstone, and that snaps him back to his senses. He says, Rocko, I never want to see a sweet as long as I live. And so they're leaving the cemetery, and Filbert's just like, I don't care anymore. He came down from the sugar high, right? He's like, I don't care anymore. And then they turn around, or no, there's someone, they get to the old photo hut, and there's someone else who's like, hey guys, you should turn around. And again, just very meta. It's very like, hey, look behind you. There's the next plot point. And then it's the hopping Hessian, who is at the grave where Filbert just was. The hopping Hessian is there, and somehow in between when they're screaming and running away, and the next scene, the hopping Hessian is in front of them now, in front of the old photo hut, and he's got his leg and his missing leg in his hand, and scares them, tosses the leg at them, just horrifying stuff. And so then we cut to, the hopping Hessian is magic, I guess. Well, it's a ghost. It can float around and just appear, and that's fine. And so we cut to Halloween 1 year later. Filbert asks someone who's walking by his house, hey, boy, what night is it? He's like, it's Halloween. Jeez, moron. And so Filbert's excited. He runs to Rocko's, and they're all looking at last year's Halloween photos. Why it took them a year to develop the photos, I don't know. But it's Rocko, Heifer, the hopping Hessian, and Gordon, the hopping Hessian's leg. Or just, I love that the missing leg is its own character. And he's got a name. And he's like just one of the gang. And so they're watching, or they're looking at the photos, and they're like, oh, some great pictures. You guys really were scared. Hey. And they're just, watching the slideshow, which is a thing people did 30 years ago, right? It's a thing that happened. You watch slideshows. You didn't have 75 options of TV at any given moment. There are more than that, I would guess. But you didn't have all those options of TV. So you just you looked at photos, and that's what you did. Yeah, you got a projector, and you looked at them, and you're like, hey, remember this? This was fun. And everyone realizes, hey, it's really late. Rocko and Heifer are like, hey, let's go trick-or-treating. The hopping Hessian and Gordon have to go to the photo hut to scare kids, and just waited. I guess they wait at the cemetery every Halloween and just scare people who walk over there. And so then the end of the episode is Filbert realizing,
just a gosh darn minute.
Who took those pictures?
Because the last picture you see, and I'll share this too, is all of them. Is the hopping Hessian, Gordon, the leg, Rocko, Heifer, Filbert. So I was like, hey, whoa. Who took those pictures? And they're all scared and spooked, and that's how we end the episode. So a cliffhanger a bit on Halloween, because we don't know. We don't know who took the pictures, and I guess we won't. We're not going to cut the Nosferatu flicking the lights on and off. Yeah, wrong show. I know. Still funny. But yeah, there you go. Halloween. Sugar Frosted Frights, Rocko's Modern Life. I did think about doing the second part, because this is only one half of the whole episode, because Rocko's Modern Life, it was 11 minutes per episode, and they would have 2, and so that gets you to 22 minutes, and then commercials gets you a half hour. And so the second part of this episode was Ed is Dead, a thriller, where Rocko peeks through the window at his neighbors, the Bigheads, and thinks that Mrs. Bighead murdered Ed, but he really had a wart and he went away. And okay, so I thought I was going to do that, and then I decided just to do one because we're doing Beavis and Butthead after this. So that's the plan. So we only did half. I know, but it's fine because it was really fun. So yeah, Rocko's Modern Life, Halloween. So just 2 questions. Can I get an inflatable Rocko costume to wear for Halloween? And number 2, how did Rocko and Heifer, if they've known Filbert for 7 or 8 years since high school and they're in their 20s, if they've known Filbert that all that time, how did they not realize he didn't do Halloween? Well, how did it not come up? And of course, who took the pictures? Who took those pictures? So those are my questions that I have to ask the creator of Rocko's Modern Life and the writers of Rocko's Modern Life 30 years later. So if you know anyone who worked on the show, let me know and see if we can answer these questions. Yeah, how did they not know that Filbert was afraid of Halloween? Who took the pictures? And can I get an inflatable? Maybe they wouldn't be able to answer that one, but answer this one. Can I get an inflatable Rocko costume to wear at Halloween? Or maybe I'll go as Gordon, the leg. How's that? All right. That was fun. I liked it. I like talking about TV. I do. Man, I should do a podcast talking about TV shows. I really should. I should do it maybe with my wife. Maybe I should do that. All right. We'll work on it. So we're doing another Halloween special. We're doing Beavis and Butthead. So if you have Paramount Plus, then this episode is season 6, episode 2 or 3. I don't remember. It's called Bungholio, Lord of the Harvest. Or if you got it on DVD like I do, there you go. So we'll take a break. You watch that, and we'll come back and talk all about it. So Beavis and Butthead, man, I am nostalgic for that theme. If you don't know, by the way, for my live show, that's what I used to come in, the Beavis and Butthead theme. So I didn't have the effects behind it because it wasn't always the Halloween show. But I used to come in on the Beavis and Butthead theme, and you know what? I miss it. I used to hear it in my ears. Then you hear Jerome, and then the show starts. Anyway, speaking of the show starting, this episode, Beavis and Butthead, Bungholio, Lord of the Harvest. What a great title. Love it. I love it. So they're both sitting on the couch watching a TV movie, watching a horror movie on TV. And Butthead is angry that the doorbell keeps ringing. And which is just it's just funny because why would he know that this is a thing that happens, that people knock on the door and give you and ask you for candy on Halloween? So Beavis is finally like, hey, we should go see who it is. I'm not going to do Beavis and Butthead impressions. I'm sorry. I don't feel good enough to do it because the internet lives forever. And, I don't need to be embarrassed like that. How about that? So Butthead's like, man, it's like the 10th time tonight. What the hell? So he finally gets up and goes to see who it is. And it's kids at the door, trick or treat. He just takes their candy. And Beavis is like, hey, what's going on? He's like, oh, just some dudes passing out free samples. And then their dad bangs on the door. And he goes, you take my kids' candy, I'll kick your ass. And he just wallops them both, steps on Butthead's stomach, grabs the candy, and happy Halloween. And then Butthead's on the floor. Ween. So good. So I mentioned I've watched this episode. We watch it every year. I've watched it for years. And I watch it on DVD. Well, for the show, for this episode, I watched it on Paramount Plus. And what I forgot is that the DVD version does not have the music videos because I guess licensing, rights, all that stuff. but they're on Paramount Plus. And so I, for the first time in I don't know how long, got to see the music videos that they were talking about. So they're watching an Alice Cooper video, and they're talking about Beavis. There's like a blow-up doll in the video, and they're, hey, Beavis, remember that time you made out with a mannequin? And he's like, yeah, and then I had to go get my pants, and just, being crude, being crass, as Beavis and Butthead are. And then Beavis is like, hey, what happens in Frankenstein again? I forget. So Butthead explains he was a doctor or something. And then we get this clip when just make it anytime Butthead makes fun of Beavis, I'd like to get a clip of it.
And then he's got this hunchbacked little sidekick that does everything he says. Kind of like you. Shut up, Butthead. Bunghole.
Because that was great. He's like, yeah, shut up, bunghole. Fantastic. Love it. I love Beavis and Butthead, and I love this episode. It's a great Halloween special. So they're out and about among the trick-or-treaters, and Beavis is like, man, it sucks we're too old for Halloween. And Butthead's like, no, man, there are no laws about Halloween. So they go to the first house, they knock on the door, and the guy's like, hey, you guys are a little old, and I really think you should have costumes. And they're like, man, what the hell? So they switch sides, knock on the door again, and ring the doorbell, and the guy's like, hey, I mean it. You need costumes. Like, brilliant plan, by the way. Just switch sides, and maybe the guy won't notice that you didn't just ring the doorbell 10 seconds ago. So... So he's like, all right. So they're like, let's get some costumes. Let's go get costumes. So they're in the bathroom. They're like in front of the mirror, and they tried on ghost sheets, and Butthead's like, hey, these are my special ghost sheets. And Beavis freaks out, of course. And then Beavis comes back with his underwear on his head, and we get this exchange.
You've got your head up your butt.
No way. Check it out. I'm a nad. Get it? See? I'm a big old nad.
You're a dumbass.
So Beavis is dressed as a nad, of course, and then Butthead's like, oh man, I got it. And he comes in with a pot of cheese, a hot, like had been cooking on the stove pot of cheese. And he just goes, dumps it on his head, nachos, which leads me to believe, this is a theory I've had for a while, that Beavis and Butthead are always, at any point they're in the house, nachos are being cooked. Like they're warming the cheese to have nachos. Because if you watched any of the newer ones on Paramount Plus, like a whole thing, I guess they won the lottery or found money, and they just wanted to be covered in nachos. And it was great. And that harkens back to this, where Butthead literally dressed, I love how, like, he didn't get chips or like any kind of fixins for the nachos. He just poured cheese on his head and said, I'm nachos. Tremendous. I love it. So they go out again. This time they're in costume. Second house they go to, there's a guy giving out religious pamphlets and not candy. The worst, by the way, don't give out the pamphlets, people. Don't give out the pamphlets. Don't do it. Do not. Did I say pamphlets? I talk too fast. I'm sorry. So they go to the third house, and it's Stuart's mom. Stuart is their friend, or Stuart thinks they're his friends. They make fun of him. And their mom will not give Beavis and Butthead candy. Oh, you just missed him. He's out with his little friends. You can go catch up to him. And they don't. She doesn't give them candy, which is kind of mean. So then they go to the fourth house is Mr. Van Driesen, their teacher, in a Nixon mask, I think, which is just funny. Like, it's also very, 1990, whatever year this was, which it's good. So all he has are organic walnut clusters and My Other Car's a Bike bumper stickers. And so they both take the stickers, because why would you take organic walnut anything on Halloween when you're supposed to get candy? So they go to the fifth house on their route, and it's Anderson, Mr. Anderson, who, if you don't know, by the way, he sounds like Hank Hill. Yeah. And Mike Judge wanted Anderson and Hank Hill to be related. And so you could connect the universes of Beavis and Butthead and King of the Hill, but Fox said no. So Anderson and King of the Hill are not canonically related, but they're related. Let's just say they're related. So, Anderson's skeptical of Beavis and Butthead, like, what are you doing here? But then he answers the phone. And it's always funny how dumb Anderson is and how oblivious he is to who Beavis and Butthead are and what they do. Because he always seems to leave them alone and then is shocked and flabbergasted that something goes wrong while he's away. Right? Like he just, those boys, Damon and Buford, whatever he said their names were. Not in this episode, in a different one. Because he thinks they're someone else and thinks they're nice boys and not the jerks that they are. Like, they're just basically real life trolls. So he answers the phone, and it's a long lost friend or whoever. And so he leaves the bowl there in view, leaves it on the table right in front, right by the door, and they just walk in. Beavis and Butthead Anderson walked away, left the bowl there, and they just walk in. And Beavis is just eating the candy, but it's like, come on, man, give me some candy. And Beavis is turning into Cornholio. He's flipping a switch, essentially, much like we just talked about with Filbert eating sugar for the first time. Beavis is flipping the switch to Cornholio, and Beavis has cleaned the bowl. He's just, and somebody, like another trick-or-treater walked up with their dad and rang the doorbell and hey, trick-or-treat. And Beavis just goes, he looks at him and goes, just growls at him. It's hilarious. And the dad's like, hey, let's go to another house. Yeah. So then we have another music video. This one, Paul Bruchek, Broucek. I don't know. It's called Hollywood Halloween is the song. And they told the story of Beavis's mom's Halloween party when they walked in on her with the dude dressed as Colonel Sanders, like his drumstick. And I love how they make fun of Beavis's mom, and Beavis is just like, hey, knock it off, but then also laughs. So they found the video boring, that Hollywood Halloween music video. They found it boring, and guess what? I agree. So then we cut back to, I guess, real life, and Beavis is still eating Anderson's candy, just all of it, as he finishes his phone call. And then Anderson has just had enough, and he throws him out of the house.
Well, you're welcome, you damn ungrateful bastard.
Yeah, really. That bastard didn't let me have any.
And then basically we get Cornholio. Cornholio is now, Beavis is fully morphed. And by fully morphed, I mean he pulled his shirt up and he's got his arms up and he's making all the noises, right? And a kid is like, hey, I'm the Great Pumpkin. Who are you supposed to be? And then he yells at him and the kid is, of course, spooked. And Anderson's like, no, get off my property. Because he thinks it's Beavis again. Because now Anderson is just angry that his candy's gone and he's just mad. So Cornholio is now wandering the streets and Butthead's like following him closely behind because he wants candy. Because, you know, the goal was, let's go trick-or-treating and get candy together. And now you stole all of Anderson's candy and gave me none, you jerk. And so he's like, hey, Beavis, get back here. I'm going to kick your ass, right? He needs candy. So Cornholio runs into Stuart and his friends and just scares them. It's like, come on, Beavis, I know it's you. And then Cornholio is just like, nope, just give me your candy. Get out of here. And then Todd, who is, you know what? I only watch this one every year, and I always forget how Todd fits into is Todd 40 years old and just messes with these teenagers? Or I can't remember, and I did not look it up. But Todd and his friends are driving around, and he almost hits Beavis with his car. And they're really weirded out by Beavis. I guess they've not had the pleasure of hanging out with Cornholio. But Butthead is like, hey, let me come hang out with you guys.
Let's go kick some ass.
Yeah, okay. Let's take this little turd out into the country.
And he drops that, and they just shove him in the trunk. And Todd and his friends just shove him in the trunk. Yeah, let's take this turd out to the country. I don't remember how long the clip is that I just put in there. I really should write down exactly what I do as far as the clips go, so you're not hearing it. Well, I guess for the patrons, because you're not hearing the clips at all. So then Todd and his friends are driving around with Butthead in their trunk, and Cornholio wandering around the graveyard, and he scares a kid and his parents, a kid dressed as the Red Ranger. Why there's no one else around. And I don't think there are houses in that area. It didn't look like there were a ton of houses nearby. So why are they walking past the graveyard? That was weird to me. So then he walks, Cornholio, Beavis, comes out, scares the kid, takes all their candy. And then Todd and his friends, meanwhile, ditch Butthead. They just drive into a field, I guess, nearby, and they just leave him. And, they pull him out of the trunk, and Butthead's like, hey, what are we going to do now? And they're like, I don't know, man. And they just leave. So I love that their plan was take him out to the country. They're not going to beat him up. They're not going to take anything that he has. They're not going to, tie him to a tree or whatever. Their whole plan was stuff him in the trunk, take him out to a field somewhere, and leave. They had no plan beyond let's take him away from this place and leave him at another place and be like, all right, see you later, man. And he's just like, all right, cool. So then Butthead is, he's just kind of giggling to himself, and he comes upon did he come upon the barn, or he's just kind of wandering around, and then he's just kind of waiting around, and a shadowy figure approaches, and, well, he's in some trouble.
Uh-oh.
And then next, I'm sorry, I was getting ahead of myself. Cornholio comes upon a man shoveling, and he's like, yeah, I need some TP for, doing the whole bit. And the zombie weird man is like, get in that barn, boy. And I love how the zombie guy kind of sounds like them. Like he sounds like Beavis and Butthead, like a different version of Beavis and Butthead, which is funny. And so Cornholio just goes to the barn. And I also feel like normal Beavis would have just gone to the barn too. Like he also would have been like, yeah, all right, that's pretty cool. And he would have just followed this guy to the barn because he's just dumb. And he would have just followed him in there, and, whatever was going to happen would have happened. So that, the fact that Cornholio was just, tunnel visioning his way to candy and TP and whatever, I think doesn't matter. Like if you swapped out regular Beavis, swapped in regular Beavis, he would have just followed the guy too. So then we get another music video, King Diamond, the Family Ghost. Both of them hated this one. I thought it was fine. So they busted out some, because they said the guy looked like the Count from Sesame Street. And so we got some impressions there, which was fun. But I don't need to dive into the music videos, do I? Good, because I'm not gonna. So we're back to the barn, and Beavis is hung up on the wall, on a hook on the wall. No longer Cornholio. He snapped out of it. But his shirt is still over his head. So the guy, the shadowy figure, zombie guy, I guess just picked him up as is. I guess he would have knocked him out somehow, and then just picked him up as is and put him on the hook on the wall. And then the old man zombie or the old man who is, zombified, and then a zombie version of Butthead, they approach, they're chuckling, and they have chainsaws, and the guy's like, oh, it's liable to get messy here. And Butthead's like, this is going to be cool. And he's giggling, and he's like chuckling, and the zombie guy's chuckling. And Beavis is like, hey, let's go get some more candy, guys. What's going on? Rawr! And so the chainsaws, they rev the chainsaws. The camera pulls back. The barn door closes, and there we are with the episode Bungholio, Lord of the Harvest. Right? Is that what it is? On the Butt-O-Ween DVD special thing that I have. But that was, like I said, we try to watch that every year because Beavis and Butthead is just it's so silly, it's so dumb. And it makes us laugh. It just makes us laugh all the time. And we try to watch that every year. It's fantastic. And I would like to introduce it to the boy. But the last time we watched Beavis and Butthead with him, it was one of the new ones. And he was like 1 or 2. And just starting, however old he would have been when he was just starting to say full sentences. They were doing like Antiques Roadshow or something. And Beavis was like, hey, look, it's an old piece of crap. And the kid immediately was like, piece of crap? And we're like, God. So we have to, from then on, we now had to really monitor what he's watching because he repeats things. So, yeah. So if I'm not in your Twitch streams, by the way, it's because you have a potty mouth, and we don't want the kid repeating the stuff at school, at least not yet. At least not when he can understand when we explain, hey, these are words you say at home, and these are words you don't say at other places. So there you go. So there we are. 2 Halloween specials in the books. That's one of our favorite ones. Beavis and Butthead is just fantastic anyway. But that's one we try to watch every year because it's just so much fun. And I hope you enjoyed it. Hope I didn't miss anything you wanted me to talk about. If I did, sorry, let me know, and I'll do my best to make a correction, issue a statement or something. I don't know. Anyway, there we go. That was fun. Hope you enjoy whichever Halloween specials that you watch. I know I've done a bunch of them over the years. Your favorite ones. I should do least favorite and watch a bunch of bad Halloween episodes. Right? We should do that, shouldn't we? We'll see. We'll see. All right. In any case, that's it for the TV stuff. We're going to take a quick break. We'll come back with the captain, some Halloween reminders, much better, and then that will be that for the show. All right? All right. Sit tight. Okay, so I wrote down the order of the end of the show as Flyers update, Halloween reminders, and then the song for Much Better. But let's do... Yeah, you know what? Let's do the captain... No, maybe people don't like sports. All right, you know what? We'll do the Halloween reminders, and then just real quick, it'll be fast. And then Flyers update, which is in my inbox. I've not heard it yet, but it is there. So thank you, Captain, for your hard work. I appreciate you joining us today. You know what I mean. And then we'll do Much Better, and the song Hocus Pocus by Much Better, and then we will go. So a couple of reminders for you for Halloween, as this is our Halloween show. I used to do the whole show was this, and I would just complain about things. But I decided to do it differently this year. So sorry if you like the long form complaining. I'll do that next year. All right. But this year I decided to watch some TV instead. Hope everything went well. Hope you had fun. I did. And I hope you had fun as well. So just a couple of reminders. If you're doing Halloween, I don't know. You know what? More specifically, if you're not doing Halloween, if you're not giving out candy, if you don't want to participate, if you're not going to be home, if you are going to be home but just don't like children or whatever, or didn't buy any candy, or if you run out of candy, whatever, turn off your light. If you're not giving out candy, turn off your light. No lights on for safety. None of this nonsense. These kids have phones. There are street lights. Other people should have their lights on if they're giving out candy. Yours doesn't need to be on for safety, because the kid's going to walk up to the door and go, yeah, candy. And then, oh no, I don't have any, sorry. And you're going to crush that kid's Halloween spirit and ruin them forever. So knock it off. So turn your light off if you're not doing candy. If you are participating in Halloween, that's great. Good for you. Don't give out pennies or pamphlets. Why would you do that? Or if you're giving out pennies or pamphlets or little toys or stickers or something, then also give out candy. Like the missus does little bags, little treat bags with like a sticker or a temporary tattoo or a little toy along with a piece of candy. Because not everybody can have candy, either that specific candy or any candy at all. So they want to get, so like mom can have the candy or dad or whoever can have the candy and the kid gets the sticker or the kazoo or the whatever. So they don't walk away with nothing when they go trick-or-treating. So if you're giving out not candy, give it out with, don't just give out that, because kids expect candy for Halloween and you're letting them down. So yeah, especially don't give out pennies. They're useless. And don't give out religious pamphlets or any kind of pamphlets, really. Don't do that. That's not a good idea. That's not good. People are going to storm into your house and take your sugar. Don't do that. All right. And finally, this one has come up in the last few years. Trunk or treat is okay if that's your option. I know people complain like, oh man, when I was a kid, we went to different houses and I'm glad we didn't do. It's just people who are mad that their kids don't do the same things that they did because the world has changed. And, if the only option that you have, here's the thing. Maybe that's not the right way to frame it. If more are going to participate in the trunk or treat activity, festival, if they're going to participate in a trunk or treat night, say they don't want people coming to their door and they don't want to have to keep getting up and get the door or sit outside or whatever, then the trunk or treat is an option. They go get the candy and the kids come in their costumes and the kids still get candy and you still get to participate as the adult in Halloween without being bothered at your house. It's safer for the kids, which is important, right? So if obviously I'm a traditional Halloween guy. We're going to take the kid. We are going to take the boy trick-or-treat. Pat, slow down and say the words. All right. We are going to take the boy trick-or-treating on Thursday. And like we did it last year to the couple of houses on the block. He had a really good time. He said, you're welcome to everybody. When they said, oh, happy Halloween, thank you. He said, oh, you're welcome. It was really funny. So looking forward to what 3-year-old Nothing Baby is going to do. It was fun. And I'm glad we got to do it. But say our block didn't do Halloween at all. Like we were the only ones. And the only option was a trunk or treat over at the rec center around the corner. Then we would go do that. And that's okay. Like if more people are willing to drive over or meet up with a friend and give out candy there at the trunk or treat and decorate the car or whatever, then great. Do that. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a bad thing. It's just different. And I don't know, these sticks in the mud, these weirdos who are mad about it, it's just that. They're weird and they're stuck in the mud because it's not, oh, this is what I did when I was a kid. And well, that might not be the best way anymore. And that's okay. The bottom line is they get to dress up and experience going somewhere to get candy to go enjoy on Halloween or around Halloween. That's the idea. Like, yes, the original idea, I guess we're getting into a little long-form complaining here, but the whole thing, yeah, trick or treat, walk the neighborhood with your friends and compare your haul and just have a good time. But if that's not an option, then doing a trunk or treat event or several, if you go to different neighborhoods, is okay. So whatever you're doing on Halloween, trick-or-treating, having a party, doing a trunk or treat, not doing anything at all, have fun with it. Don't be a jerk, and just everybody stay safe. Okay? All right, great. We did a little complaining. We're good. We're good. We did a little bit. Don't give out pennies and pamphlets. We're good. Turn off your light if you don't give out candy, or if you run out, turn off your light. And if trunk or treat is your option in your neighborhood, then that's fine. Just do that. All right? All right. So now, I think we're all good with my stuff. So let us get to last week. The captain could not join us, and that's okay. But, maybe I feel like we should have forced him into it. No, it would have been. No, I'm joking. So, no, the reason I say that is because the Flyers, I don't think have won since. I think they've won one game this year so far, or maybe they didn't at all. It's been a bad start for the Flyers. That's what I mean to say. But the captain will bring us the positivity and will tell us all about what's going on. Like I said, it's in my inbox. I've not listened to it yet, but he's going to tell us what's going on for another season of Flyers hockey. I'm very excited. He's very excited. So, good sir, the floor is yours. Take it away.
Hey, Flyers fans! You know what that means when you hear this voice. It's another season of Flyers hockey. Guys, I am ecstatic to bring you the Flyers. Oh, dude, yeah! Woo! Guys, I know. I'm a little biased. I'm the friendly guy that gives you a little bit of Flyers news, puts a little spin on sometimes bad. Okay. Pretty much all the time bad news about the Flyers, but listen, they are young. They're one of the youngest teams in the league. They are building towards the future, as we've talked about. So let's give the Fly guys a little bit of a break to start this season. So let's take a look back at the last 2 weeks and look ahead the next week what the Flyers have on tap. So the Flyers started the season off in our friendly, northern neighbor in Canada, a little international trip, but it didn't work out too well. So the Flyers spent their first 4 games on the road, the first 3 of them in Canada. The first game was actually really exciting. They were in Vancouver, ended up winning that game 3-2 in a shootout. Not always the best format for the Flyers to win, but the Flyers made it happen. Unfortunately, they have followed that up with a 6-3 loss in Calgary, then a 4-3 loss in overtime in Edmonton. Then they came back to the U.S., ended up losing 6-4 against Seattle, and then they followed that up with a 3-0 loss to Vancouver. But it was at home, so I don't know, the sting of being at home and losing and getting a shutout, I don't really know. But the Flyers started their homestand with a 3-0 shootout, being shut out and lost. Then the Flyers followed it up with a pretty strong game. It doesn't seem like it, but the Flyers ended up losing 4-1 against Washington at home. But the best game, or one of the best games of the season so far, the Flyers took on Washington in Washington, played the Capitals. The Flyers ended up losing that game 6-3. However, the last 2 goals by the Capitals were empty netters. The Flyers had it 4-3. Just some of these really young kids flashing some pretty excellent skills. I mean, Matvei Michkov, come on. He's a 19-year-old kid. He's a sensational player. Let's see if he can keep building and growing. So let's take a look at what we have going on in the future. The Flyers are going to be taking on the Wild at home on Saturday, and then Montreal on Sunday. And then they're taking to the road on Tuesday. They're going to be taking on Boston up in Boston. Boo. And then the Flyers are coming back home to take on St. Louis on Thursday. So I know I just gave you a bunch of information, but if you take nothing away, this Flyers team is young. They have some excellent talent. But again, 18, 19 years old, 22 years old, I mean, you're still finding your footing, but the Flyers getting invaluable game time and NHL professional experience. Now, the goaltender situation, Sam Ersson, Ivan Fedotov, we'll see. Ersson has not shown the flashes of brilliance that he did last season so far. Let's give him some time. Fedotov, not quite there just yet, but as I said, early in the season, so let's see what these Fly guys can do. So guys, that's it for me here inside the Melting Pat on Next Level Radio.
And there you have it. Thank you, my friend, the Melting Pat, the Next Level Network. I don't need to do that because he already said the thing, but that's fine. Thank you, my friend. So, I should have said this at the top, but if anyone doesn't know, that is my friend Mark. We went to grade school together. I call him the captain because, why do I call him the captain? That's not important to the story. But a couple years ago, we were talking about the Flyers, and I said, I missed the game. And he's like, oh, man, you got it. And I said, hey, do you want to do that on the show? And just like send me every week. It was originally the Flyers Minute. Send me every week a minute roundup of what happened with the team, and I'll play it on the show. So let's do that. And he's like, yeah, great. And it was supposed to be one season, and then the end of the year, he was going to come join me actually on the show and break down the season. And then that, I guess, would have been that. Or I guess it would have been an annual thing where the last Flyers update of the season would have been him actually talking to me live on the show and breaking it down. But it didn't work out that way. And I think we both had so much fun doing, like, he does all the work. I just put the music on there and level it all out so it sounds good. And we both just had so much fun doing it that I just decided, hey, let's just keep doing it every year. And we've done it for, I was still at the apartment when that happened. So I guess the second year of the show, 2016, we started doing it. And now here we are, 2024, and he is rolling right along with it. So he always brings the energy. He does way more research for anything of this show than I do. And I'm grateful that he's part of the show. And it was nice to see him at the live show as well. Thank you, my friend. I'll let you know when the next one is. All right, so there you go. Go Flyers. Go whoever you like. The World Series has begun. Go Dodgers. And the NBA started too. So a lot to watch. A lot going on if you're a sports fan. If you're not a sports fan, then, well, I don't know what to tell you. Then don't watch, I guess. Oh, is today the sports equinox day where every major sport is on? No, it's Monday. It's Monday. The NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA, and the NHL all have games on the same day on October 28th. So just go watch sports all day or night or whatever you got to do. Is there I guess, here's my question for YouTube TV. Is there going to be a multi-view where I can watch all four of those at the same time? Not that I would, because that drives me nuts. But but is there going to be a multi-view for all the four major sports, for all the four that are on on the same day? Yes, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, that's it. That's our show. TheMeltingPat.com for more from me. Join the Patreon, sign up for the newsletter, donate to the GoFundMe. We are less than $200 away from our goal. I can't believe it. I'm very excited to finally get this behind me and get this venue off my back. They haven't called me yet, but I still want to have the money ready just in case, hey, like they get to the end of the year and they're balancing their budget and they say, hey, this guy didn't pay us. So I want to have it. So I want to have it just in case. And I want to be ready. So thank you for your generosity and tell your friends we are so close to the goal. So if we can get that by, I don't know, sometime soon, let me know. And we'll, I don't know, let's have a party or something. I won't have the money clearly, but there we go. There you go. All right. There it is. I don't know what the rest of the network is doing for Halloween shows this week or this week coming up, but there's a network tab at themeltingpat.com. Click on over there and find out what's going on. All right. All right. That's it. We're good, right? Are we good? We are. I hope so. This has been an 8 Boylan production. So until next time, my friends, have fun. Be safe. Thank a veteran. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Get vaccinated and boosted when you can. Tip your wait staff. And of course, don't do anything I wouldn't do. We're closing with a different song today. Like I said, our friends Much Better, our dear friends, their song Hocus Pocus will take us home as it does on our Halloween show. muchbetterband.bandcamp.com for more from them. That will be in the show notes as well. All right? We're good. We got to get them to make a Thanksgiving song, by the way, because they get the closing song at Halloween and Christmas, so we need to get them in the middle and complete the trifecta. All right, Charlie, get on that, man. I already texted him about it, so we'll see what they can do. Or not. They might not. But anyway, thank you so much. Happy Halloween. Enjoy yourself. Whatever you're doing, don't be stupid. Be safe. And don't be a jerk. And don't give out pennies. Okay? I love you. I'll talk to you later. You've been inside the Melting Pat on the Next Level Network. Go crap open a cold one.